I'm doing a little something different from my typical open dragon mouth because this story is pretty much just circulating all around social media, and I just had to put my thoughts out there. Let me start off by saying that for this particular individual that I'm going to talk about, I am no fan of him. I don't like what he does. I I really don't agree with his views, but I'm not here to talk about his thoughts. This is about what transpired over the past couple of days. We are talking about someone who's been around the news for quite a few years, but kind of died off some. Milo Yiannopoulos, who is a former editor of Breitbart. I first saw this particular story on Twitter, and I thought someone was trolling the furry community. I thought someone was posing as him, but apparently this is the real thing. He registered for Midwest Furfest. So the fact that he registered for a convention in Chicago, my overall feeling was puzzled. Now, a lot of his stuff is more confrontational. He does a lot of stuff to troll anyone to the left. It's pretty much what he does. But if he was serious about Midwest Furfest, why did he want to attend it? And from what I did read, he had submitted a panel called The Politics of Fur, which I don't think should be a panel on there, because I am no fan of having politics in furry conventions. That's just something that I don't want on my weekend. I have enough of it already in everyday life. But anyway, so what had happened was that when he posted the receipt on his, well, he did not have Twitter, he did not have Facebook, he was banned from those platforms, but he did post a picture of the receipt he had. So people started putting all these tickets to Midwest Furfest to let them know that they were not pleased with him registering for their attendance. So yesterday, Furfest had said that we heard you and we're going to have a meeting and discuss this. And I know people wanted them to ban him right then and there, but it's not as simple as that. You got to take everything into account. I mean, you are free to speak what your thoughts are, but at the same time, you got to abide by the code of conduct, which I will, because I'll pull this up because I have been reading through this for something different, but I'll talk about that in another video. But the code of conduct of, let's see. No, it would not be under personal. It would probably be under the harassment policy, which says Midwest Furfest is dedicated to providing a harassment-free convention experience for all, regardless of age, race, gender identity or expression, sexual orientation, disability, physical appearance, or personal beliefs. Now, that is key there, personal beliefs. So, we do not tolerate the harassment of any kind of convention attendees, volunteers, staff, or guests. Harassment is considered a serious breach of this code of conduct. This policy applies equally to attendees, staff, contractors, and agents of MFF. If someone requests to be alone, respect their wishes. Individuals experiencing harassment should contact a member of MFF staff as soon as possible. Wearing or displaying garments, costumes, or signage that are deemed by MFF to communicate hostile messaging or sentiment is not permitted anywhere in MFF spaces. Individuals in violation of this policy will be required to remove such items. So there are two important parts of this code of conduct. First off, it does mention that they're dedicated to having a harassment-free convention, no matter what your in part, personal beliefs. So that means no matter what kind of viewpoint you have, you are welcome at the convention. But at the same time, this is where we get to the second part of the harassment code of conduct, where it says that any in probably garments or signage would have been the most likely thing that would have happened. They're deemed by MFF to communicate hostile messaging or sentiment is not permitted anywhere in MFF spaces. Now, Milo Yiannopoulos has had some what I would consider hostile messages before, and some pretty nasty ones at that, even if it was trolling. Which one of them was back in 2015, where he did a tour, which was called the Dangerous F Word for Gay Person, which I will not repeat here, tour, which were more targeted universities and colleges. So this would have been the most likely thing that would have happened. But like I said, whether he was serious about attending MFF is not clear, at least not right now as of this recording. But I am just really curious as to know if he was serious in attending MFF. Why did he choose it? Why does he want to go to a furry convention of all places? I mean, if he is trying to troll, he's definitely got an audience to do that, which of course is mostly LGBT, heavily left. There is very few conservative furries. They do exist in the furry fandom, but it is mostly left leaning. But just a few hours ago today, Midwest Furfest did revoke his registration and banned him from attending the convention. And they posted this message on their Twitter, and I believe on their main page, which says, "Self-registration for our event does not imply a given individual's presence is condoned or appropriate. Midwest Furfest can confirm that Mr. Yiannopoulos has registered for the event this year. While the convention generally does not comment on anyone's registration status, Mr. Yiannopoulos has already stated as much publicly. Mr. Yiannopoulos' attendance at the convention may lead to an inability to provide a safe and welcoming experience for convention participants. The board of Midwest Furry Fandom, consistent with their posted code of conduct, has rescinded Mr. Yiannopoulos' registration. In addition, he will be barred from registering for this or future Midwest Furfest events." So, even though that their code of conduct does say that he is entitled to his personal beliefs, most likely he would have caused a disruption. So pretty much what they were saying is that if they did allow him to attend, all hell would have broken loose. Even his presence would have caused a big problem. Because I pretty much guarantee you, this would cause so much trouble, and possibly even hurt Midwest Furfest in the long term. Not just for attendees, but also the relationship with the Hyatt Regency O'Hare. So this was something that Furfest had to take delicately. So I do believe that this is the right move, and really for the best for both Midwest Furfest and Mr. Yiannopoulos. While I really do not condone what he does, nor do I even like the guy, it is for his own safety. And not just for him, but for everyone else attending the convention. Because remember, this is a convention that has 5-figure attendance. Over 10,000 people attended. So I just had to come on and just talk about this particular story, because this was really interesting to know what happened. And I think Furfest did the right thing. And I know people wanted them to do it right away, but this is something that they have to take everything into account. So you can't rush to things, especially in a business setting. So, so with that, I think that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think, and we'll see what happens. And of course, I do have to remind you, please keep it civil in the comments. I don't want anyone going at each other's throats. Mr. Yiannopoulos has been more of a confrontationalist. I don't want any of you to be that either, okay? Alright, so that will be it. I'll see you guys later.